My name is Payton, and I paint what I call cannabis-centered fine art. I'm originally from South Carolina, and back home, weed is still a pretty taboo thing, but it's done so much good in my life, like physically, mentally, spiritually. So it's kind of become my muse. I started painting weed in 2019, and right before 2020, I came up with the brand Pretty Stoned Art. In this past year, it's really started to gain momentum, and I've gotten a lot more creative since I got sober from everything besides weed. And I've never had any like formal training in art. I've taken a few classes with like local studios, but I never studied it in school. I took 2 semesters in high school, but nothing like in college. I've just kind of always painted. I've loved bright colors, and getting into painting, I've learned how to mix colors, and I'm just becoming even more obsessed as I practice my craft and develop. My art has grown a lot in the past year in ways that I couldn't have even imagined. I had been invited to do a live painting event in March of 2024, and I had no idea I was going to fall in love with live painting. So I feel like my art is going to expand in ways that I can't even comprehend, and I just want to keep calling in those opportunities of like trying new things and getting in front of new people. But the live painting has been such a fun way for me to expand my practice. When I'm at home, I have found I get distracted really easily, but when I'm working in front of an audience and people around me, I am like laser focused. I am just so in the zone. I get my paintings completed a lot faster. And I know it's not about the time in which it takes to complete a painting, but it feels good to be so concentrated. And I love the experience that other people have of seeing the painting come to life. And it's kind of an enchanting process, I feel like, for people to watch it and experience it firsthand. So I'm not really sure where else my art is going to go. I feel like there's going to be all kinds of opportunities coming in. And yeah, I'm so open to trying new things and seeing where it takes me. And I kind of just like to go with the flow. I don't love structure or plans. And so I'm kind of just trying to keep it kind of hands off. Like I don't have to have all of my goals set out. I kind of like the spontaneity of not knowing where things are going to go and just allowing what calls to me to try those things. I have just moved into the Studio Door gallery, into the studio space here, and I love the community here. It's so freeing and expansive to have this space here where I can show my art to the public instead of just having it sit on my apartment walls, which I loved that. But it's so nice to start getting it out into the world and even expanding on Instagram. It's a lot of people from all different backgrounds. Like I have people from all ages and all kinds of lifestyles that are drawn to my work. And I think it's so cool that we can connect in that way through this amazing plant. And yeah, I'm just starting to grow there, and hopefully I will be more involved in the community here in San Diego, in Hillcrest. When I started smoking weed, I just started to perceive things a little differently. It opened my mind. It gave me a lot of creative ideas. And so I would partake with some cannabis and then get behind the canvas, and things just start to flow. It puts me in a really like focused mode a lot of times. And I love the experience of it, and it does a lot of good for me. And I think it's important to have conversations around how it can be a medicine instead of our perception of it being a drug, because alcohol is so much more dangerous and toxic to the body, but it's so normal. So through my art, I just want to advocate for access to it because of all the good that it's done within the realm of creativity and a lot of my like physical health. If you're someone that partakes in using cannabis and it's something that you maybe still hide or kind of keep on the down low, I would maybe challenge you to start having conversations about it, because it is now an industry that's growing so much and there's so much money in it, but we still have people in prison for it. And I think it's really important to have the conversations about making it accessible, about getting people out of prison and expunging records. There's a bunch of different organizations that are helping with this. I love supporting cage-free cannabis. I think the Last Prisoner Project is another really great organization. So finding those organizations to support if you partake and if you support the plant, and just doing your part to advocate, because there's no shame in using it. It is a medicine, and the more that we collectively stand in our usage and accept it within ourselves, it'll be accepted collectively more and more. And I think it's a really important medicine that we can bring into the world, even more so than it is now. And there's still a lot of change in the industry that needs to be had. We are all creative in some aspect, even if you don't realize it right now. And creativity is such an important part of our lives. As humans, like, we are wired to be creative. We've been creating since the beginning of time. And everything around you in this world is created from something. Like the buildings around us, the mug that you drink your coffee in, like everything around us is art in some form to me. And we're such a society that values logic and rationality, which I don't think that's a bad thing, but I think there's definitely room to welcome in creativity into our lives. And not that you have to be good at art, it's just an experience of like following curiosity and letting things take you down a different path and opening your mind. And I think we all have that ability, and if we can open to that even more collectively, we're going to solve a lot of problems that our world is facing. I think creativity is just such an important aspect of life. It's so healing to the soul when we feel depleted, when we feel like there's no hope. It's just something to let your mind get out of all of the hustle and the rigidity of life. It's really freeing. So I would love to share the message that we're all creative beings in some aspect, and I would encourage and invite people to start exploring it. If you want to follow me, you can find me on Instagram at pretty.stoned.art. My website is paytonmullinex.com. It's PaytonMullinex.com. My YouTube is just Pretty Stoned Art. There's no dots or anything in that one. And yeah, if you want to get a little more of the inside scoop of what I'm doing and a little more of the stuff I don't always share publicly, you can join my email list. It's called Smoke Break, and there's a tab on my website for that.